just knew exactly what's supposed to be in there. She'd bake her own, like, she'd make her own macaroni. She'd make her own ravioli. She would stuff her own ravioli. She'd be out there rolling and flattening out flour and shit, throwing the flour on top of it, flattening it out. She was a wizard.
Dog, you should get a monkey, call it Cheech. Just out of respect, a little monkey, and keep it here, dog. Out of respect for grandma.
My grandma was a special lady. She was powerful.
Yeah, once you give those, like, listen, when I was a kid, man, I went to my buddy's judo school. I didn't join. I just went down there to see what it was like. And it was hidden in Union City. It was on 7th Street. But I knew that my stepdad played cards on 9th Street on Wednesdays.
Wow.
Okay, I knew my stepdad played cards down there. They played baccarat. Okay, and they'd gamble in this little club. And I had to be maybe 10. But because I grew up how I grew up, and with the numbers, I always had my eyes out as a kid. When I went to judo that night, at the end, I got in the bus to go back, and I noticed unmarked police cars. And I went home that night. And look, bro, you know me, dog. Get Christy Love used to be a show on ABC about a black chick that knew martial arts. They tried to capitalize on it with her sister. And she was good looking with an afro, and she was a cop. And she'd come in and do karate moves. So on Wednesday nights at 9 or 10 o'clock, you caught me at home watching Get Christy Love. And I'll never forget that my stepdad was leaving that night. And for some reason, I go, "You going to play baccarat tonight?" And he looked at me. He was getting dressed, a suit on. He had like the Billy Bat suit on and shit. Like, you're going to play cards with 5 men. Why are you getting dressed to the nines?
Right.
And I said to him, I said, "Hey, man, today I went down there to go to Martin's judo school, and I saw a bunch of unmarked cars down there. If I was you, I wouldn't go out to that." And he fucking just looked at me. He said, "I love you," and he walked down the stairs. He got in the car, started it, opened the garage, bro. And 10 minutes later, I heard the car turn off, and the garage closed, and he came up, and he goes, "I think you're right." And he made Sundays for me and him, and next morning, that card place had got raided. So now, they would listen to me when I was a kid. I had these fucking morons under my spell, right? But you want me to tell you what else I did, Joe Rogan? Like, this was me and my stepdad had this weird relation. I got to an age where I wanted my mother for myself. You know what the feeling is, Joe Rogan. We've all gone through it when you lose a dad and your mom remarries. There comes a day that he's not going to tell you what's going on anymore. And you know what? I just want you to know that I'm the motherfucker that runs this joint. You might be sleeping with my mom, but I run this motherfucker. So once I gave him that advice, like, it really, for a while there, him and I were going afloat. I kept stealing his coins from his Santos. He had this San Lazaro thing, and that was everything to him. So he had this big bottle of, like, scotch that was empty, and he would put silver dollars in there, and I would steal them. And from time to time, he would come home and go, "That bottle's looking light. Somebody's stealing my..." I destroyed his mind for years because he was a very particular man. So he had different bundles of money. I got to tell you something. I respect him today because I saw him get out of the joint, and I saw what he did with bookmaking and how he became partners on a butcher shop.
Oh, you started businesses?
He started different businesses. So after I saved that night with the baccarat, he would listen to me. And then one day I went, and I signed up for Biddy basketball in Union City, and they used to give, you know, like now, if you sign your kid up, you got to pay $80. And
right.
In those days, you just show up with an address.
Right.
And they gave you a T-shirt, they put you on the team, and they gave me a number. They said, like, Union City Department of Recreation. It was a purple shirt. My number was 57. I walked in the house, and he goes, "What do you got there?" And I go, "Oh, I joined the basketball thing." And he goes, "What number is it?" He goes, 57. Cubans, again, are very superstitious. 57. He goes, "Put a number on that." And he picked up the phone. I go, 5. He called some guy, and he goes, "Give me 557 for $10. Guess what happened, Joe Rogan?
What happened?
The number came out. Now I really had him under my spell, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, I had this motherfucker at the age of 12. So he would listen to me and shit.
How old was the guy?
My stepfather, Juan, at the time, was 47. Did not drink.
Can you imagine?
Did not drink, did not do drugs.